All right, before we get started, I think it is best that I say something for the heinous events of hours in the morning yesterday. Um, Technically this morning, like really early this morning, people were just going out, human beings just going out to have a great time and party and just listen to music, drink a little bit, just have a great time. And it just took one person to come in that just thought that they needed to not have a good time and he needed to quote unquote solve the problem. And now we're in mourning. Now, as I've said before, Orlando, regardless if I've never lived there before, eventually I will solve that problem, is my home. I have friends in Orlando, I have basic family in Orlando, and it's the happiest place in the world for me in every way possible. So it's nice to see the entire world stand with Orlando tonight. And for a while, they're going to stand with Orlando. It's basically about building everything back. Do not live in fear. Anything can happen in the blink of an eye. Do not let anything deter you from coming to a public place or going to a movie or going to a theme park. Don't let any of that deter you. Just let business go on as usual. As the late great George Carlin once said, if you do that, then truly the terrorists have won. And it's better than that. We're better than that as a people. And regardless of your race, your creed, your color, your religion, your sexual orientation, we need to band together and make Orlando, and this sounds really like cliche, but we need to make Orlando great again. It's been a rough weekend for Orlando, without a doubt.
Yes, it has.
And now is the time for us to band together and prove that there is solidarity in numbers. Go donate blood, donate water, orange juice, so people are hydrated enough to donate blood. I mean, people came out in droves. Like 1,500 people came out to one of the blood banks to donate. So much they had to turn people away because they had no way of doing anything else. So before we get started, I thought it made sense for me to say thank you to everyone that has done everything bent over backwards to try to help make this situation a little bit more tolerable than it rightfully could be. And to mourn the loss of people that were friends, people that had families, people that were connected to the theme park community and were just human beings out having a good time, and now they're no longer here. It's a sad state of affairs. It's the worst mass shooting in the history of the U.S., and it's just wrong. Right now, we must band together and realize hate is bad, love is good. We must move on and become stronger as a people. But before we get started, I thought it was best to have a moment of silence to commemorate the memories of those lost during the shootings at the Pulse nightclub. Thank you, everyone, and hashtag Orlando Strong. So, as they say, the show must go on, and that it will. Welcome to... God. The first time we've talked TNA Impact as a pay-per-view since last year. Welcome to our Slammiversary Popcast.
Before we start, I want to say one thing. Congrats to the cast of Hamilton, the musical, winning 11 Tonys and trending better than TNA.
It really doesn't say much, Travis.
I know it doesn't say much. And I just want to say, in everyone's speech tonight on Tonys, they referenced something dealing with Orlando. And with that just happening, shows that the theater community, as well as many, many people in the world and in America, are behind the city of Orlando right now. They were, along with even at the Bethesda E3 conference, they were all wearing ribbons in support of Orlando. I thought that was probably the coolest thing that I've seen on TV in a long time. And the fact that basically it's looking like all these people are coming together and saying, yes, there needs to be change for something. It needs to happen. Really does.
So I guess we now move on with business as usual. Oh boy.
Oh boy, TNA.
TNA Impact Slammiversary 2016.
I actually watched TNA. I feel stupider.
So before we get started, as always, it's time to do a little introduction like we do at the beginning of every podcast. We have a smaller version of the Popcaster Panel. Pretty much the same panel you're going to get for Best in the World in 2 weeks. The only person that's missing is Will. So this is our TNA panel for tonight. First off, we have the very reluctant Travis Coaster.
Hamilton.
And we have the extremely busy watching E3 coverage, Ashley.
I mean, if you take into account that hashtag Elder Scroll Screaming Woman was trending above TNA.
Oh yeah,
Josh
that
Matthews
girl that was
saying
marking
TNA
out
Slammiversary was trending worldwide.
Schools.
No, but bloody Josh Matthews was saying TNA Slammiversary was trending worldwide.
Well, it's trending in Orlando.
Not on my list.
The list I have
Slammiversary
it
is
was.
number 14 on my list, besides behind Blink 182, Penguins, Bethesda, Game of Thrones, Dishonored 2, Stanley Cup, and of course, probably the best thing I saw tonight, the Tony Awards.
Blink 182. Yeah, we're randomly performing a concert after a press conference for video games.
I don't care about video games, and I don't care about the Tonys, but I'm sure they were more entertaining than Impact tonight.
They were.
3 hours of Impact that was basically a pay-per-view.
I'm not gonna say why they were more entertaining because it might get me into trouble, but all I'll say is Snoop brought a bomb.
Shouldn't you have just played the sounder of the very familiar song?
Smoke weed every day.
Exactly!
I can't be
Yes.
bothered to because that was just fucking brilliant. You gotta make it up, man.
Good God. The echoes
thing
this
is-
weekend have been driving me insane.
I am
If
sorry.
they try and delete it from archives ever happening, people have already managed to get it, and it's already been archived somewhere on the internet.
People are pissed.
It is there forever.
Of course. I don't think Snoop cares. I really don't.
God.
Wait, Owen, did you say the echoes were bothering you?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
Wear
now you bring it up.
headphones when we do
No.
podcasts.
Does that mean are you in Shady Work right now?
No.
Are you having delusions of grandeur?
Oh yeah, I'm totally in Orlando right now in my head.
You know what the definition of insanity is?
Recapping TNA.
Yes.
Just hearing that it's having to see the same thing over and over.
Oh, so WWE booking. Yeah. And apparently dropping out in mid-sentence is also there, too.
Awesome. So it's the Travis and Owen show. Welcome. We're going to talk about the Tony Awards tonight.
No, we're not.
Not.
Don't care. Let's get this over with. So,
No.
the show starts off really well done, moment of silence. And every single member of the roster was on top of the ramp. And there was a big hashtag Orlando Strong on the screen. I thought that was really well done. Friend of the Popcast Network, Kyle from View from the Cheap Seats, was there, and he said on Twitter that there wasn't a dry eye in the house, and completely understandable.
Mm-hmm.
Given the fact that everything happened with literal earshot from Universal property. The show started off with a four-way dance for the X Division Championship.
Oh, Lord.
That echo is killing me.
Okay, I'll fix it.
We all put up with headsets, Travis. You should too.
Oh, my goodness. I can't even touch it.
Anyway.
There we go.
All right, so Eddie Edwards comes out. He's got his fake wolves tattoo on his shoulder. DJ Z comes out with his basically kind of like an EDM helmet. Kind of reminds me a bit of Jorma Taccone in Popstar. Never Stop Popping, which is awesome. I can't believe I'm putting over Sandberg, but I am.
Are you really putting over Sandberg right now?
Dude, the movie was awesome.
Really?
I love that movie. It's so fun. And then
you loved it more than you loved Zootopia?
I need to watch it again. I didn't like it. I liked it, but I didn't like it as much as I should have.
Give it another chance.
Anyway, don't care. Right now, talking TNA. So, Andrew Everett and the current X Division champion, Trevor Lee, come out. Lee's got the X Division championship. Of course, very brightly colored green. Shane Helms is out with a suit. And right away, the comment is made over the microphone that due to outside interference, Shane Helms is barred from ringside. So that's what happens. This match was good. I enjoyed this. Good, chaotic X Division style match, which, of course, X Division is what put TNA on the map in the first place. A lot of really good spots in this match. I really like the swinging Blue Thunder in the match. I thought that was really cool. Trevor Lee went for the Orange Crush. He got stopped. We got a sequence where Everett hit the Pele kick, and DJ Z went for the honor roll, and he ended up getting caught with a riding double stomp from Everett. And they fought for a while. DJ Z got German suplexed off the top by Trevor Lee, and Everett with a springboard Rana to Eddie Edwards for a near fall. Everett goes for the 450. Probably the 630 in this case, but he lands on his feet, gets caught with a spike DDT like an exclamation point by DJ Z, and Trevor makes a save. DJ Z slingshots in, catches a knee strike, and they trade forearms, does Trevor Lee and Eddie Edwards to set up the finish here. So a leaping forearm, a leaping knee strike, and Trevor Lee goes for God's Last Gift, or the small package driver, depending on who's calling your match. And it's countered literally into a small package. And Eddie Edwards is the new TNA X Division champion. I like this match a lot. It was good, chaotic TNA X Division action, a lot of breakneck pace. I enjoyed that. It wasn't as fluent as it could have been, but there was a lot of really good combinations in the match. I really enjoyed it for what it was. It was a good way to hype up the crowd. The crowd was actually into it. I will say the crowd was kind of iffy in reaction tonight, but this is something the crowd was definitely into because X Division always gets the crowd into the events, especially at the Impact Zone. And welcome one member of the Popcast Network, Elite. Tyler is in chat tonight. I don't hear an echo either, Tyler. It's amazing. I love it.
Fuck you.
Travis is wearing headphones. Yeah.
Yeah, my ears are hurting.
Oh, deal with it. We do for 4, 5, 6 hours every week. At least twice, if not 3 times a week sometimes. Sometimes 4. Don't forget, I did 2 last night, doing 1 tonight, 1 for Raw, and then Wednesday's show.
Yeah, fuck Raw.
And that is all with my headset on. So yes, we all deal with
But
it.
you have a comfortable headset, don't you?
And not really.
Is it earphones or is it over the headphones?
It's earphones. It's earphones like it came with the CD player.
What's a CD player?
I don't know. It's dead technology. So, Travis, what do you think of the match? This is your first time you've seen X Division action. What did you think?
It was good. I thought it was great. And then it just turned to shit.
What was the problem with it? I mean, I thought there were some really good, like, false finishes.
No. The match was great.
You're talking about the
match, it just went downhill.
So there's weird gothic music that's playing in the background as Bobby Lashley is shadow boxing in the back. And then we see Drew Galloway just getting ready for the main event, knockout or tap out fight to end the show. Jeremy Borash is in the back with Ethan Carter III. He says, "On this Sabbath I shall not rest. Michael, you pinned me, but your victory just defeated you. You call yourself God, but you're a false prophet." Kind of like somewhat what has been said about numerous people in the past. I'm going to deal out some Old Testament vengeance. This is our church, and there's going to be a choir that's going to be singing trouble, 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 trouble. And EC3 gets the crowd very slowly to sing along, and they finally are like, oh yeah, we probably should do this. And they do. And he says, you call yourself God, meet your devil, make your peace. Great promo from EC3 there. He's a commodity that WWE really dropped the ball on, without a doubt. We see highlights of Sting getting inducted as the first recipient of the TNA Hall of Fame in 2012. And this is building to, not tonight on the pay-per-view, but Tuesday night on Impact, finding out who is going to be going in as the next inductee in the Hall of Fame. Yeah.
That was stupid.
My guess is James Storm. It makes the most sense. I mean, he comes back after a literal cup of coffee in NXT, and he was one of the ones that was there since day one, and it makes sense to induct him. But he's doing this weird thing, which we'll get to it later. Tag team action, we have the Tribunal of Basil Baraka, the former Sylvester Lefort, and Baron Dax, the former Marcus Louis of NXT. They have Al Snow. Al Snow is sporting a jacket that has France on the front of it that I don't think Jacques Rougeau would wear, and a whistle, because apparently he's John Tolos now, and he used to manage Kurt Hennig.
Oh my god, I wanted to shoot this guy because, oh my goodness, that whistle got on my nerves.
You didn't watch ECW. You don't know who Bill Alfonso is. If you did, you probably hate this even more.
That whistle, okay. At that time, I'm like, I don't care about this match really much, so I'm going to watch the Tonys a little bit more. So I actually, turned my head to the Tonys, and I'm just hearing that whistle. And I'm like, is that what's going on at the Tonys right now? And I say, no, it's this stupid guy that's freaking standing there whistling at some wrestler. What?
Okay.
TNA.
So, yeah, Travis, if you were unaware, in ECW, there was a guy named Bill Alfonso. He managed Rob Van Dam and Sabu. His gimmick, literally, during the match, is to blow the whistle. Constantly.
That's annoying.
Well, now that Ashley's back, Ashley, your thoughts on the opening four-way for the X Division Championship? Nope. Okay.
That's what he thought of it.
All right, fair enough. Apparently Ashley's not back. So they're facing off against the team of Mahabali Shera and Grado. I don't like Mahabali Shera. I don't like him at all. I didn't like him.
And over.
Yep.
Ashley?
Yeah, I was continuing on, the definition of insanity.
Oh, yes, indeed.
It took about 10 minutes for me to finish saying and over all the time, but,
So, Myra, what do you think of the opening four-way for the X Division Championship?
Pretty solid, actually. The fact that Gregory got thrown out at the start, it was like, so why the hell was he here?
He wanted to come out
Other
and
than
shoot
for his boys in the NorCal.
Carolina Click.
Um,
Next generation of the Omega
yes.
Powers.
I'm wondering, though, why Eddie's got the belt. Because if we're going on the logic the last time, they won the tag belts, but then immediately, like the following show, one of them got injured.
Right.
But because of the way they did the tapings and whatever, it meant that didn't air for a month and a half. Admittedly, this time it seems to be a bit different because they are doing tapings now, and then again, I believe, like this time next month, it's like second weekend in July.
I believe so.
There's a bit of a different staggered structure.
When's the
Rather than-
tapings for TNA?
Rather than doing it all in one block. But, yeah. Overall, it was a solid match. I can't complain. It's got 4. I still wonder, though, why he was real steel. Bloody DJZ.
Well, like I said, I felt like it was more like EDM, more like Daft Punk than anything else.
No. Well, because he had the glitter ball head, yes. But even Daft Punk, when they come out, they don't actually move like robots. You know, if you wanted a robot to look human, you wouldn't make it move like a robot.
Fair
With
point.
respect. You know, you'd want it to basically be, you know, indistinguishable from humans. You know, like androids and whatever. You know, like Blade Runner. You know, nobody in Blade Runner went, does not compute, time to die, and all that stuff.
Travis, the Impact tapings are going to be running on the 13th, 14th, and 15th.
I hate you, Dixie Carter.
Well, with respect, the 13th one's a one-night only pay-per-view.
Right.
The 14th and the 15th are the 3 to 4 weeks of television.
Yes.
No, I'm talking about I'm going the next 2 weeks from now. Why couldn't she just wait?
Probably because the company is now owned, I think, by about 55,000 different people. Because as we said last night, the name TNA is now owned by the Harris Brothers company, R Lux Studios.
Correct.
But as came out today, which explains a significant presence from him tonight, Billy Corgan is now minority owner of the company.
Oh, yay.
This is correct.
There is one problem, that still means Dixie has majority ownership.
Oh.
Yeah. She won't make a deal with anyone for the company unless she's allowed to still be in charge.
Does that, of course, mean that... See, the great thing is, when we were talking during the show, me and Owen, I kept calling him Baron Corbin.
Yeah, he kept calling him Baron
this
Corbin.
much about his purchase and what's happened.
All right. So we move on to the tag match. Ashley makes
Which one?
Obviously the second match of the night.
I'm trying to remember what that one is.
Ashley makes a revelation that immediately I jump on because it makes sense. Al Snow apparently now looks like Steve Corino.
Oh, there we go. Now I remember. This is how memorable this match was. I didn't even remember it happening.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Al Snow, he hasn't aged well in the last 2 years.
No.
Al Snow looked like Al Snow during British Boot Camp Season 2, which actually would have been last year. So in the space of 12 months, he's become an old son of a bitch.
Yeah, pretty much. Formulaic tag match. The Tribunal gets caught with a double flip flop and fly from Grado and Shira. Shira doesn't know how to do the elbow. That looked bad. Grado's cartwheel makes an appearance because that makes sense. Always. And I'm not being ironic here, I'm being honest. That makes sense. I like Grado's cartwheel. Al Snow grabs the referee's attention. Shira pulls him off the apron and nails him. Grado makes the cover. And at this point, Shira gets posted. And the Tribunal finish off Grado with the setup for the demolition decapitation, but they come off with the Bret Hart elbow. So it was called the guillotine by Josh Matthews, which makes sense given the fact of their French gimmick. It makes perfect sense. And they win. This match happened. This felt like a house show match. I don't know why. I have no idea why Mahabali Shera is with the company. I don't know why he has a job and he's not working in the indies somewhere making like $50 a night. Oh no, sorry, I missed the zero. $5 a night and a handshake and probably getting a hot dog and a beer. I don't like
that. Also, given the circumstances of what's happened recently in Orlando, Al Snow doing the Donald Trump line, it's just like, okay.
I mean, to be fair, my guess is that was an original line he was going to use tonight, but out of respect, I think he should not have used that terminology tonight.
He should have tried to use a different context or whatever.
I mean, you can get cheap heat, because I've done it before by giving people at ringside bars of soap. You can get cheap heat that way, but if you go too far, then, I mean, it just becomes in poor taste.
I don't get it. Why are people angry? They're getting a free bar of soap.
Yeah,
but cost $1.
I know, it's just they get mad because you tell them that they smell, and then you tell a guy in the front row that has a rebel flag on his jacket that you cut Dale Earnhardt's brake lines. That's cheap heat, sir.
Dude.
that is cheap heat, sir.
No.
If you did that sort of crap at a games convention, everyone would go, "Oh, thank you, Christ! Now I don't get sick. Like 2 years ago, when I went to the game convention, I went massively ill afterwards. Last year, took some bloody sanitizer gel, perfectly fine. Admittedly, it might be because last year I had to travel less and not stay over in a hotel. That might have been an effect, but soap is good.
That would totally get you heat.
It did. It got me serious heat.
Hashtag Elder Scrolls.
They threw stuff at me.
Why would you say something like that? Oh my god.
Because Sir Owen as a character is evil.
Twitter.
If you're working at a wrestling promotion in southern West Virginia and you want to get cheap heat, all you got to do is call them rednecks, make fun of them, like every little thing you would think of to do, and then go after NASCAR or hunting or anything like that. They will totally be in the palm of your hand. That's why I did that, Travis, because I was doing it to get heat. And I knew it would
Don't
work.
use Dale Earnhardt as a cheap way to get heat.
It was a great thing to do in the South. I wouldn't do it in certain places, though.
It's really a case of Mahabali Shera's there. I don't know why.
I don't like this guy. What's the upside with the Mahabali Shera? He needs to be He needs to be trained again.
Yes.
I'm sure he's a nice guy. I'm positive he is. But the thing is I just don't buy him as a wrestler.
The Tribunal doesn't really make sense.
I don't mind them as a team because I like their interactions in NXT. But it's kind of like what they did with the Bashams. when they brought them up from OVW and they made them a tag team. I mean, TNA needs tag teams right now, like, desperately, because you need teams that can compete for the tag titles. But if they're not going to do anything with them, then what's the point?
And Grado's like the one that's being wasted.
Grado's wasted away in this.
Nobody has a purpose in this storyline apart from Grado. Because even you could replace Al Snow, you know, with like... I'm trying to think, who else is on that fucking writing team? Vince Russo, there we go. It'd have more relevance if it was Russo. Or whoever it is that's now involved with that. I don't even know who's like creative for that shit anymore.
It doesn't matter anymore.
Bloke.
I mean, I like their finish. I think it works. I don't know what we're doing now. I think the feud might be continuing because obviously the only way it's going to end is when the Tribunal get their comeuppance, and that's probably going to come on a live Impact an Impact taping instead of a pay-per-view. Because pay-per-views don't matter now. It's like, whose line is it anyway?
I thought what we watched tonight was a special
3-hour
Impact Wrestling.
3-hour Impact? Yeah, pretty much.
Well, the amount of times we were promoting TNA Hall of Fame stuff for Tuesday. And the amount of time we actually had, like, interview segments for each match. That's the other thing. Or perhaps not for every match, but like both sides of the story came out over the course of the show. And then on top of that, which did come after this, because fuck that last match. Shouldn't have been on the card. I think the next thing that we see is this is a backstage bit with Tony Braxton.
Yeah, Braxton Sutter walking around the back, and he walks into Cowboy James Storm cutting a promo.
And everyone's like, "Why the hell are you cutting a promo when you're not even on fucking pay-per-view?"
Yeah, it was probably for like Spin Cycle or Explosion or something like that we don't know about.
If he now doesn't wrestle on Explosion in the next set of tapings, what the hell are they filming?
I don't think they know anymore.
If he's not in singles competition against somebody, that's going to make so much sense. I can't wait to read the results in the next few days.
Which we're totally spoiling that on Wednesday's Wrestling Podcast, without a doubt, like we did with NXT on Saturday night.
How? They're going to spoil it themselves by having Tuesday be live in inverted commas. I just hope it's like last time, you know, it wasn't last time, but I think it was like October. No, it couldn't have been October because Bully Ray was there. They went and they had a live show, and when they started broadcasting it, they were showing the main event because they went to it live rather than live via delay. And then my feed cut to Russian boxing.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Oh, yes.
Travis, what are your thoughts on this match?
Ugh.
You don't like Grado?
No.
Okay.
Well,
I just don't like
with
TNA
respect,
in general.
Grado's automatically fucked because he's not... Grado's automatically fucked because he's not coming out to like a...
Yeah, I know.
Right.
If he could come out to Like a Prayer, this would probably be a lot better, especially when you get like the audience participation and everybody singing along. If TNA could have the rights to that, that would be great. But they can't.
By the way, those of you who bought this on Fight TV,
God.
you should have saved your money because ICW featuring Grado and Drew Galloway is going to be on that same service in about a week and a half, possibly 2 weeks. Bit of friendly advice.
All right.
Probably would have cost you half as much as well. I've heard some people were being charged as much as $50, $55 to watch it in HD tonight. Which would be okay if it was like a UFC show.
Yeah, UFC.
But, you know, I think the average, some people were saying, was like 40, 45. I don't know if that's SD or not, but whatever it is, a lot of people were like, for the amount of money that they're wanting to charge me, I could get the WWE Network and all the archive of their programming, plus Money in the Bank, plus Battleground, plus SummerSlam, plus Night of Champions, plus Hell in the Cell. And in this era that we're in of we ain't got much money, we need to scrimp and save and, you know, be careful about where we spend. £10 a month spread over 5 months instead of 50 in one go. Much more friendly to the bank balance. And so there ain't somebody knocking on the door going, you shouldn't have paid for your TNA pay-per-view, son. We're taking you home. I mean, that's a bit extreme, but you know.
Basically, the point of the promo is that, in all essence, it's pretty much leading to Braxton Sutter becoming the new Gunner. Because he talks to Storm for a bit, and then Storm ends up taking him away to talk to him about something, and that's the end of it. Completely the end of this entire segment. Okay. Now, Gail Kim versus Maria is scheduled next.
But it's not.
But as we talked about on Saturday, Maria hurt her hand, broke her hand, and she's not able to compete.
The thing is, though, how the hell did she break her hand?
I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen
saw her on
that.
Tuesday. We only saw her 5 days ago, and her hand was perfectly fine.
I'll tell you how she broke her hand.
It's as if this was taped weeks and weeks ago. How could they do such a thing? Oh wait, it's TNA.
Yeah.
So how fucking ironic is it? We're doing a gimmick where somebody's leg is fucked up, and in the course of those 5 weeks, the other person's arm is legit fucked up, not kayfabe fucked up.
I can't explain it. I don't care at this point.
The fucking great thing is, unlike most people, Gail Kim actually sold this fuck up.
She did. So
She couldn't do her proper pose because she was hurting.
right.
So of course the logic was, I mean, we were thinking, right, does this mean then that we're going to be actually seeing some interesting stuff? Yeah, are we going to be seeing Ali involved? Is Maria somehow going to wrestle instead? Somehow? They come up with some bullcrap reason. So Maria and Ali come out, and they're both in dresses. And me and Owen are going like, you're going to wrestle in that dress? I'd watch it. I'm a sick fuck. Yeah. I think that might be worth the $50 alone.
Indeed.
And then basically Maria's like, well, I'm injured, can't do anything. And Gail Kim's like, so am I, but I'm willing to get in the ring. You know, you's a pussy. And then bloody Baron Corbin, Billy Corgan,
With his sunglasses.
No, he's trying to be Nigel fucking McGuinness.
He is. That's
He's trying
true.
to be Desmond Wolfe.
He
He's
is.
trying to be Desmond Wolfe from TNA. Bald head and everything. And the grey suit. And the black shirt. He's trying to be Desmond fucking Wolfe. Holy shit.
And he has the most.
And my voice broke.
He has a giant envelope in his hand.
Saying, hate to say it, but I've got the X-rays. And they even show it on the big screen. It's like, my God, Maria's hand is so huge. Who knew that Maria's hand in real life was actually about 40 foot tall? That's a big fucking hand. When people say, let's give that person a big hand, she's the definition of it.
Just call her Jillian. Apparently she's got man.
But of course, by doing this, you're then sort of establishing Baron Corbin, Billy Corgan as heel. And we've already established in the storyline that basically Baron Corbin, Billy Corgan was a bit miffed at the fact that Dixie gave control over to EC3 for the night a few weeks back. So what I am now fearing desperately is that this is going to be some stupid shit that is going to become a storyline.
I hope not.
Over the upcoming months. Because knowing TNA, because they can't come up with original ideas.
Right.
This is going to be EV 2.0, version 17. What was Hogan's stable called?
Oh, God.
It had some name. When he tried to take over from Dixie, that whole thing.
Right. Immortal.
Immortal, that's it, yeah.
Yeah.
Aces and eights, same thing.
Right.
MVP, same thing. They always go back to power struggle with Dixie, because then apparently people are going to feel sorry for Dixie. She's been butt-fucked over more times in storyline that it's like, I can't feel sorry for her anymore. It's like, this is the 18th fucking time that this has happened to you, love, and you still haven't learnt your lesson. And that doesn't even acknowledge the real life shit that's going on in her life in terms of how this company's going and how it's running out of money. It is just the storyline shit. And every time, it's always her. As if she's a positive talent. Which she isn't. It's not like Vince. She doesn't embrace the wrestling business. Vince would never fucking say darling. Christ. Oh. And so yeah, back to where we were. So, because of everything that's happened, Baron Corbin, Billy Corgan, I'll keep calling him, decides to organise, because it's Slammiversary, special treats, or something like that, if you want to call it that. So, now, your TNA Knockouts title match has gone from one-on-one to a triple threat. And of course, at this time, Maria looks at Baron Corbin, Billy Corgan, and goes, "What are you doing?" There again, establishing that, oh wait, perhaps he isn't heel. So again, we're sort of doing the whole variant. I can't say it's a copy of, but a variant on what we're already seeing between Shane and Stephanie, and with the Stephanie character in WWE right now. And it's just when you see it done in this manner, because when you see it done on television from Stephanie, you know it isn't real, because it's a family business and all that stuff. When you hear news less than 24 hours before this airs that Corgan is now legit minority owner of the company, lines blur, and not in a good way, because then that fuels more rumors, and it makes the press even more negative for TNA. And to be honest, they don't need that shit right now.
Not at all.
Also, what we don't need is a stupid finish to the Knockouts title match. I hope that really doesn't happen, Owen.
Yeah, we're about to talk about that.
Oh, wait.
So after making it into a three-way, an unscheduled three-way, now for the Knockouts title, which adds the current champion, Jade, and also Sienna. This match, by and large, was good. Overall.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there were a couple flubs here and there. There was a sweet stacked Samoan drop by Sienna at one point. And after a couple palm strikes, a knee strike, there was a springboard swinging DDT. I like that. Sienna ends up going for a lariat, which she connects with Gail, but the camera misses it. All right. Jay goes for the run off the top and sets up for the package pile driver, gets blocked to a backdrop. AK-47 connects, and Gail ends up hitting Eat Defeat on Sienna. Allie pulls the leg. Gail ends up decking her and backs Maria up the ramp, and Allie slides in the title belt. And out of nowhere, in street clothes, Marty Bell from ringside, she grabs the title, and
she's got like a billy club.
She's got both, because she swings the title with one hand, and Sienna ducks the title shot with one hand, and her opposite hand is hitting Jade with the riot baton.
No. Sienna's got the belt.
That's what I saw both.
Sienna's got the belt. Because she's going for the shot on Jade. Marty runs in with the billy club. Sienna sort of goes to swipe at her. Marty dodges it, goes to swings instead, and knocks the crap out of Jade. And then Sienna, Allison, whatever the fuck we call them now, throws the belt to the side, because obviously she doesn't need to use it, because for whatever reason Marty's done it, and pins her, and we have a new Knockouts champion.
I got confused because there was a lot of things going on at this. I don't know. I understand why Marty Bell's involved, because the dollhouse, but isn't the dollhouse completely dead now?
Course it is. Porn again with the Taryn Terrell. Notice I used the word P, not B. Born again Christian. We know what Playboy shot she did, Tara. She went. Then, of course, Awesome Amazing Kong turned out to just be not very good. So she got thrown out. They might as well just get rid of the dollhouse gimmick.
I thought they did. I thought they outright killed
I
it.
thought the final nail in the coffin was Rebel versus Shelly Martinez.
Right.
But turned out, no. And this is the other thing. So in this one match, you've got the storyline between Sienna and Jade, Gail Kim and Maria, Jade and Maria, Sienna and Gail Kim, and now Marty Bell and Jade. Could this be any more bloody convoluted? There's way too many storylines converging in each other. It's
Right.
exactly what happened when we had the so-called Divas Revolution this time last year. So many different storylines were converging on so many other different ones that it was just sort of a clusterfuck of trying to work out, wait, which is the one I'm supposed to care about?
I don't understand where you're going with this. Obviously, we're leading to Gail and Marty Bell. That's the feud here. I mean, Jade and Marty Bell, long day. And now you got to get the title off of Sienna. And that's obviously going to be Gail. But
there's nobody fucking else.
Yeah, there is no one else. There literally is
no one else.
They ran every... No, could you imagine a feud between ODB and Sienna?
No.
I think that could have been built up really well with TNA.
That's the other thing now, if you think about it. I mean, apart from Madison Rain, but I don't know what's going on with her. Gail Kim and Jade are the only two faces.
That's correct. That's the problem.
Everybody else is heel.
That's the problem right now. There is nobody. There is no division. There really is no division left.
It's like the tag belt. We're having to randomly reform or bring together teams just to legitimize a division.
Yeah, that is true.
Where have I heard that before, Golden Truth?
I hate that team. But
you know, match was good, but it's just
it was fine. It was a serviceable match.
Where's the payback?
Yeah.
Well, you know, I don't mean like WWE payback on whatever, but I mean, you know, well, I mean, where's the payoff? I guess is the properly, you know,
where's the payoff?
What is this going to lead to? And am I going to give a damn about it?
What I'm hoping for, obviously, is this leading to a face turn for Allie. She doesn't want to be a doormat.
Doesn't make any sense, because that means she's gone from heel to face in a space of a month.
Does anything else make any sense in TNA right now when it comes to a women's division? There's nothing making any sense in the Knockouts division right now at all.
Yeah, the fact that Jade, she's the baddie. And then it's like, I don't like the way Maria works, so she's automatically a goodie.
Right. I don't know. It's probably best not to talk about it because it's going to make your head hurt even more. Speaking of that, Bobby Lashley is in the back with Jeremy Borash.
Wanting to be announced as the next heavyweight champion.
Yes.
I love the fact that they did this because they were in the end of a show.
Yep. He basically manhandles JB and gets him to try to announce him, and he kind of says it kind of like half-heartedly, and he's like, announce me properly. And Lashley like basks in his greatness and then just leaves.
Oh, can we talk about that bit?
Yes.
I don't know whether you did. So at the start, they've run short of money that much. Josh Matthews had to do live voiceover for and now TNA Wrestling presents Slammiversary. No joke.
Pay no attention to the guy in front of the curtain in this case.
And then, at the same time, after he said this, we cut to Arena with Jeremy Borash saying, and also later tonight, it's Full Metal Mayhem with Jeff Hardy taking on Matt Hardy. And then there's like 30 seconds of silence. And then I guess the crowd are being told to get hype and whatever.
Exactly. That's what happens when you go to an Impact taping.
They literally cut to the arena too early, so they put the hype. They put the bit where people are being informed of how to hype at the start of the show.
Yeah. I do not know why.
Somebody queued that up very, very badly.
Yeah, big time.
Because he announced that. You know, me and Owen were thinking, wow, we're starting with the Hardys? I mean, it's ballsy, but, you know, after that Brother Nero segment from 2 weeks ago, it makes bloody sense.
Right.
Just get it out of the way, regardless of whether it's good or not. That segment might have killed the wrestling industry.
Yeah, somewhat.
And then, of course, our opening match is X Division. It's like, which is it?
Yeah.
It's confusing. But yeah. I mean, it wasn't Borash's fault. Somebody in the production truck. Please tell me Dixie fired them. Because then that'll be the first time I've heard Dixie firing somebody.
See, the issue with that...
Unless they're Jesse Sorensen, because they don't want to pay Lee medical bills.
Oh, boy.
Just saying.
So we get Cowboy James Storm coming out. New gear.
Yes, that's like, what the fuck are you doing out here? You're not on the show. And then Borash suddenly goes, the following contest is set for 1-4. It's like, wait, so a guy who's been here since day one, give or take a little spot for some reason in NXT, doesn't get mentioned on this fucking card.
Yeah, pretty much.
A card that's entitled Slammiversary, which is 14 years to the week of the show in which James Storm made his debut on TNA television.
Yeah, pretty much.
In the very first weekly pay-per-view in Nashville. And he's also randomly added on the card.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, he does a very pro-Orlando thing.
I thought that was really well done.
Really good speech. But then, of course, he says, you know, I've been here since day one and haven't gone anywhere. And I'm like, seriously, man, you were on NXT 4 months ago.
Yeah.
We don't have short memories. Nope. I'm guessing the majority of people that watch TNA probably also watch NXT. I'm not saying WWE because that's a separate thing. Regardless of what Vince might tell you, Triple H is God. You know, as a reason why he's in the UK. Oh wait, that means Raw this week is going to be shit. No. Sorry.
Oh boy.
Sorry. Flashbacks.
Good God.
So basically, Storm says, you know, this young kid, Tony Braxton, wants to unbreak my heart. Say you'll love me again. So I want this Braxton kid to. I'm challenging this Braxton kid to a match because I want to see how good he is. So then Braxton comes out, and I'm like, wow, second match in, and you go from local independent jobber. So you go from Lidge to the cowboy who's got a fucking go-kart beer keg.
Yeah, he's riding the Boozer Cruiser.
The Boozer Cruiser, as he calls it. Yeah, but it's just, that's a difference.
He obviously knew something we didn't when he chose to go back to TNA instead of sticking with NXT. More power to him if he's doing well financially.
He's probably given a lot of money to do not very much work.
Oh yeah, it's just like the waning days of WCW when people were paid that did not even work on television. I remember the context of seeing something in one of like the Figure 4 weeklies a long time ago, seeing that Lanny Poffo was on the roster getting paid X amount of dollars every single month, and Eric Bischoff is like, Lanny Poffo's on our roster.
Yep.
That's what happened in WCW. But I was a WCW guy and always will be. So Cowboy James Storm versus Braxton Sutter. This match was, I mean, it wasn't bad. Storm hit his normalcy here. Sutter got some good shine in with a Golden Gate spin for a near fall and a flying body press. He hit the Samoa Joe style snap power slam for a near fall. He went for a tornado, got tossed off, and Storm goes to the buckle. He falls off the turnbuckle and then gets back up. That's for you, Matthew. And he goes for the tornado DDT. It gets blocked, and Sutter snap suplexes him into the turnbuckle for a near fall. He hits like a short version of the bicycle kick, and he charges in. Storm makes him eat closing time. When he gets up, he tunes up the band, hits the last call, 1, 2, 3. Match over. He grabs beer from the outside. He has 2 things of beer, so immediately you're thinking Sutter is the new Gunner, or there's about to be a heel turn of some sort. Apparently, he's the new Gunner because they chug beer like best friends and they leave together. He's paying it forward is basically what he was doing in this case, I guess you could say. I mean, this match was okay. I mean, this felt... Honestly, the best comparison I would give this match is it felt very much like an NXT squash match. Felt like a match that basically had a quote-unquote name against somebody that's already established, and the guy gets a little bit of shine or a little bit of heat, depending on if he's good or bad, and he gets finished with a regular finishing move. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on the match itself?
I mean, it's good.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the... I don't know whether it makes sense to have them team up again, because inevitably one's going to turn on the other.
And that's going to make Braxton Sutter a heel.
If they do it as soon as next week, it's just... I don't know.
What's the point? I mean, if this is another tag team that we were talking about them going after the Decay, I think that could possibly happen. Everyone knows James Storm as a tag team wrestler, even though he's a former world champion for mere minutes. So he's a former multiple-time tag team champion. So why not give him another tag team title run? Especially if you don't have anything else you can do at the time. Or give credibility to the Decay beating James Storm and another partner. There's a lot of different directions you can go with this. I guess we're going to have to see. Stay tuned here. We're going to be watching TNA and find out where we go next, Ashley. Oh God.
Yeah.
Speaking of where we go next, there's a promo in the back with Alex Riley Jr., Eli Drake.
Huh?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the guy's got a way of words, but he's Alex Riley meets Mr. Anderson, basically. I don't like this guy at all. I don't buy this guy. I understand he's got a following. I understand he's over in the Impact Zone. It's kind of like how I treat Mojo Rawley. He's also over in Full Sail, and I don't get why. But apparently, a lot of people cling to Eli Drake. So he cuts a promo, and it's just a bunch of buzzwords. Basically, he's using his dummy lines and everything, and he says that Bram's dangerous, crazy, and intense. But he's, quote, 100% moron idiot. Okay. Forever is a mighty long time. Don't insult. That's a fact of life. And then we go back to 2013.
Fucking grammar, son.
I know.
Fucking grammar.
Oh God.
Sorry, what?
Oh my God. CM Punk would have a field day with this guy. If you haven't checked out Grammar Slam, find it in your means to do so. So Kurt Angle is inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2013. And by the way, that's the last time we hear anything of the Hall of Fame. We don't talk about 2014 or 2015. Nope. We just go, that's the end. Kurt Angle, that was the last time the Hall of Fame was important, and that's it. So we'll find out more on Tuesday. Oh, God. King of the Mountain title on the line. Eli Drake defending against Bram. I don't like either one of these guys. Eli Drake, like I said, reminds me of Alex Riley. I don't get the upside in this guy. He looks like somebody that would probably drop in the first round of a shindy tournament. That's the best thing I could think of.
Why the fuck is it that everybody in TNA has just randomly tweeted beautiful things about Slammiversary? Literally like 10, 15 minutes ago. Seemingly en masse.
Yeah.
And of course, mysteriously, seriously en masse, TNA.
So this match, they fought on the ramp. Bram ends up pulling the mat up and going for the brighter side of suffering. But he gets blocked. Eli backdrops him on the concrete. At one point, Eli tries to go to the top. He goes too fast. He falls off. And he plays it off like he meant to do that. No, he did not. Bram beats the count, and Drake goes for a cover. Bram ricochets to the buckle and catches a neck breaker. Cravat knee strike. Double line on the double clothesline. Double down there. Bram hits a pop-up powerbomb and goes for the brighter side of suffering again. And he can't capitalize because Drake falls to the floor. So Bram goes to take advantage, and he's held back by the referee because why not? And this allows Bram to toss him in. He gets caught with the cravat knee strike, and the blunt force trauma finishes him off. The less I say about this match, the better. I don't care for either one of these guys. I understand TNA sees something in both of them. I have never seen it in either one. I guess you could say the only thing I can say about Bram is I somewhat liked what he did with Magnus. But other than that, I really haven't seen an upside to Bram since he came to the company. I don't like Eli Drake at all. And I guess it's just me. But yeah, this happened. I hope they get the King of the Mountain title off Drake as soon as possible. But I don't think that's going to happen because they've invested something into him. And he's loved in the Impact Zone. And since they're not leaving Orlando anytime soon, I think that he's going to stay champion for a while unless they flip the title to somebody else. This would probably be a good title for like a Braxton Sutter to have if they really wanted to pull the trigger on that. But apparently he's going to be a tag team with James Storm. So, but I mean, we don't know that. That's just what it looks like, just based on what we're seeing. But yeah, that's all I can say about the match. Ashley, you have any more thoughts on Eli Drake and Bram?
No.
Yep, that's a good way to put it.
It's just them guys. It's just with respect. I'm never gonna give a shit about them.
Why would you? Okay, I want to see from the eyes of TNA what they see in both guys at all. I understand that Eli Drake has a look. I get that. Bram looks like a wrestler. I get that. But other than that, what's the upside? I just don't get it. Maybe I'm not supposed to. Promo time. Jeremy Borash is in the back with the Bennetts. Did you get a chance to catch this promo, Ashley?
I think this is close to when I was starting to tune out. It was certainly a good promo, which it should have been, because, you know, EC3 did the great promo before.
Right.
With the choir singing in trouble.
That was awesome.
Beautiful.
Well,
cut, you know, a very good promo as you'd expect.
Yeah,
I can't remember the full details of it, but it was like, you know, it wasn't like a, what the hell are you saying? It was like, he's not making himself look like an idiot.
No.
Good.
He says, I got the hottest wife. I'm the most dominant. He says, you have flaws. I don't. You're nothing but a spoiled little rich kid. I'm unstoppable. I pin the unpinnable, did what Bully Ray and AJ Styles and Sting couldn't do. See, this story won't have a happy ending. They won't say trouble, trouble, trouble. They will say, yes, we do. I did pay attention to that.
Oh.
Yes! The Miracle Mike Bennett with Maria Kanellis Bennett in his corner, long day, taking on Ethan Carter III. The crowd was chanting, no, we don't, a bunch. One of the biggest spots right away is Bennett goes for Randy Orton's snakebite DDT across the barricade. And he plants him on the concrete. I thought that was great. Of course, it's weird because EC3 has a particular setup. He hits a clothesline, a back elbow, a jawbreaker, and he goes for the Stinger Splash. The first time it misses. So he gets caught. Bennett sets up for the Miracle in Progress, the Samoan driver, the Better Than You driver, the Dead Body driver, depending on who is calling your match. Gets countered into a roll-up. Carter hits the Batista bomb for a near fall. Goes for the 1%er, but he gets shoved off. Carter charges to the Spine Buster from Bennett for a near fall. Mike Bennett hits the Rainmaker. And then he goes for the Stinger Splash. For some reason, when he connects, he immediately ducks his head. And Carter proceeds to clothesline him. They trade punches. He hits the clothesline, back elbow, jawbreaker combination, goes for the Stinger Splash. This time it actually hits. A flapjack in the 1%er, but Bennett kicks out at 2. He catches Carter with a neck snap. He pulls on the ring apron. And he catches him with the TK3 on the ring apron, which basically ricochets the forehead of Bennett on the top rope, and then he hits with a thud on the ring apron and then goes to the floor. So Carter dives off the top, gets caught with a cutter back in the ring for a near fall. The Fireman's is countered into a Cobra Clutch, which he grabs the ref, and this allows Bennett to low kick, hits the pile driver for a near fall. He hits the Rainmaker again, and a rolling German, Three Amigos style from EC3. Hits the 1%er on a chair, and then the chair gets slid in by Maria, which completely stops anything that's going on. So the count gets stopped. Brian Hebner comes in to count the 2, and EC3 goes to Maria, and this allows Bennett to come in and hit the Miracle in Progress on a chair for a near fall. He goes for the pile driver, gets caught with a TK3, and then the 1%er finishes him off 1, 2, 3. And EC3 has gotten his revenge on Michael Bennett. This match was good, but it seemed like it was missing something. It didn't have the kind of intensity I would imagine this kind of a match should have, given the build-up it's had. It was solid for what it was. It was kind of dead in places. There was some really good stuff in the match. I like the problem with not selling certain things before going for another move. That was a problem. I noticed at this point EC3 has that weird climb back elbow jawbreaker combo setting up the Stinger Splash. Never noticed that before. And he did it twice in the match. Bennett going for the Rainmaker is strange. Really strange. But yeah, it was what it was. I mean, Ashley, you get a chance to check out this match at all?
Glimpses here and there, because I think the stream started a little bit late, but from what I saw, it was as good as I'd hoped.
Yeah.
In all honesty. Which is good.
Yeah, these two actually brought it in the ring. They got great chemistry. I don't have a problem if this continues, but with Carter getting a clean win, I think that this feud might be over, and they'll both move on to different things Tuesday on Impact. We get a Matt Hardy promo. Brother Nero has always gotten back up. Tonight that ends. I'm the reason for his career. Without me, there is no you. I will do with it with tables, chairs, ladders. I will bludgeon you until you are no more. I will delete you once and for all. It's over. Then Reby comes out with Maxwell in her arms and announces Matt Hardy. Matt comes out to Moonlight Sonata, which apparently is in the public domain, or they would never use it. Jeff comes out.
Yeah, it was like Matt Hardy playing it. If you saw that, no.
Oh yeah,
playing it completely off key. That's the other thing.
That is a good point that I did not think of. It. Yes, that's probably what it was.
It's basically a case of, what the fuck you doing, son? Stop playing the fucking piano. Otherwise, I will have to handcuff your hands.
I don't know why that build up was the way it was. I know it's been the laughing stock. I know it evolved. Apparently, when they did the EC3 battle with Johnny Gargano, Gargano ends up yelling Brother Nero and hitting the side effect, and it pissed off Matt Hardy on Twitter.
Yep.
I think that's great. We'll talk about Evolve on Wednesday. Yeah, I wish I could have seen that show. So they fight in the entranceway. The garbage cans are used. Jeff Hardy is not wearing a shirt. He just body painted his chest. I guess he's got the putty devils thing going on. That makes any sense. So he breaks out a ladder, and at one point he takes this ladder and he elongates it as long as it'll possibly go. He drapes it between literal corner to corner, and he puts Matt on top of it, and he splashes him through the ladder. So that worked. Other than that, in the match, we had a slingshot splash to Matt while he was laying on a table on the outside. Of course, this is Falls Count Anywhere because it is Full Metal Mayhem. He went for a swanton after the ladder spot where he got put through it, but Matt got the knees up. He drapes his arm over, gets a near fall. They trade punches. He gets a twist of fate. There's a no-sell, and Matt Hardy clotheslines him. So Matt goes all Mike Tyson and starts biting Jeff in the ear. They fight on the ring apron, and Matt hits a side effect on the apron. Matt gets under the ring and grabs a keyboard. So he's got like the He's got like the look of Sweeney Todd going on, so he breaks out a Danny Elfman Casio keyboard, a ginormous Casio keyboard, and he puts it between the guardrail and the ring apron. And he proceeds to power bomb Jeff Hardy through the Casio keyboard.
All right. So Matt Hardy isn't good at music? Are we trying to break kayfabe here?
Oh, no, we're breaking keyboard.
Oh, God damn it.
Yes! I don't forget.
In no way did we sort of say to ourselves, if only we were doing this live.
This is true.
In no way did I just segue it perfectly for Owen to just drop it like it's hot.
Yes.
Snoop Dogg.
Anyway,
I will tell you one thing. Snoop brought the bomb.
She mean Christmas. Okay, so Matt breaks out 2 tables, and he doesn't stack them. He sets them side by side, so sure. He puts Jeff on the tables. Matt climbs up a ladder. Jeff's like, nope. And he climbs up, and they fight on the ladder, and then they basically jar each other so much that the ladder collapses, and they both hotshot themselves on the top rope. So Jeff hits the normal spot, inverted atomic, double leg, heels to the midsection, seated drop kick. And he hits the twist of fate, goes up top for the swanton. Matt kicks out at 2. So Jeff has Matt, hits the twist of fate, putting Matt through the table, because they're basically on top of this doubles like table side by side, and he destroys one table with the twist of fate. He puts Matt on the opposite table, and for a second he puts a garbage can lid on his chest after nailing him with it, but the garbage can lid falls off. Jeff goes to the top, swantons Matt to the table, and gets the win. Anticlimactic finish. I'm sure a lot of people, when they read the Sports Illustrated article that we talked about last night, probably were wondering what Jeff was going to do, because he said that he wanted to best what Shane McMahon did at WrestleMania, but that did not happen. So, I mean, it was about as safe as
the roof's too fucking small.
Yeah, the roof.
You need to see what they had
small.
to do at Full Sail.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're about the same size, actually, to be completely honest with you. Because I made that comment the first time I walked into Full Sail for TakeOver Our Evolution. I was like, wow, it feels like we're in the Impact Zone. I didn't say that too loud because I didn't want like people to attack me. But yeah, this match was fine. Travis dropped out because he's got to be up super early tomorrow, but he made this comment that the only thing he enjoyed on the rest of the show was this match. But he likes ladder matches, so I guess I understand that. I mean, this was fine. I didn't think there was the big, like, oh my god spot that you could have had. I mean, the swanton to the table, we've seen it before. It was fine. It did what it had to do. I think Jeff doing the swanton where the guy moved and he hits flush back first on the ring steps, like the top of the ring steps, because for some reason WWE liked to use the ring apron. TNA liked to use the top of the ring steps to do spots on. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, that was, I mean, it was good for what it was. Ashley, thoughts?
I mean, they didn't go too crazy, which I guess is good.
Yeah, they didn't go as far as you would think, given what Jeff was saying and the way the storyline was going. They probably, a lot of people thought they were going to go.
I think the video package made them think otherwise.
Oh my god!
I think that video package from 2 weeks ago made everybody go, well, to be honest, who gives a shit about what you want?
That circular table, oh my god, I'll never forget that. Oh my god. Oh, semi-main event time.
Oh god, this was semi-main. Oh yeah. No.
The Decay, Abyss with regular face paint, and
Steve.
And TNA's resident Jack and Chance, Crazy Steve and Rosemary. taking on the Bromans.
C6 Steve.
You like to call him C6 Steve. The Bromans, Robbie E. and Jesse Goddard's with Raquel. Who was...
You said that with such passion.
Yeah, I'm not I'm not a fan at all. I understand where she comes from, but I don't care. I'm not a fan at all. She's okay. She's decent to look at, but number one, I think that there's a lot better looking women in the TNA locker room for sure, without a doubt. I know I'm definitely in the minority in saying that, but I believe that somebody else is a lot better looking.
God. He's going to be the one wrestling Sienna next month.
Yeah, it wouldn't shock me at this point. Hey, wow, you turned her into Eva Marie. Congratulations. Oh, wait a minute. No, she's Dana Brooke. There you go. Let's talk about a couple things in this match. Steve goes for a cannonball in the corner. Robbie makes the hot tag to Jesse. He drop kicks Abyss. He hits I can't call this a Rana. He basically leaps up and head scissors Crazy Steve off the top. Robbie E dives onto the Decay on the outside. Rosemary gets in the ring, and she kind of like somewhat is flirting or like attempting to flirt with Jesse, and Jesse kind of like looks at her, presses her over his head, and throws her onto the pile at ringside. Okay, that makes sense. We got some decent stuff here. I've never been a big fan of Jesse at all. I like Robbie a lot. I've always been a big Robbie supporter. Probably because I have like this like huge crush on Becky Bayless, so that's probably the reason why. Taking back to the old Robbie gimmick,
and
back
also,
when it first started.
And also, Jesse was on Big Brother.
Exactly. Mr. Pectacular, that Danny O used to mention constantly on the O Show back in the day. And obviously, there is no coincidence why we use the term locker room radio. Shout out to the O Show. That's wrestling technology that unfortunately is long
Other
gone.
letters of the alphabet are available other than O.
Yeah, not in this case. So Crazy Steve. Okay, first off, Abyss ends up getting blinded by the mist from Rosemary. And Jesse hits a springboard forearm after Crazy Steve gets chokeslammed by the blind Abyss. The bro down into the Adonis Crab, but Abyss pulls Brian Stifler out of the ring. And Abyss goes for the mist, and he hits Stifler instead of Robbie E. So while he is like frantically like trying to rub everything out of his eyes, Steve is tapping in the ring. Rosemary goes to crack him with the belt, and Raquel comes in, stops her somewhat. Crazy Steve comes in, and he decks Jesse with the title belt. Rosemary pulls Raquel out of the ring because she doesn't need to be in there anyway. And Crazy Steve is on top. Brian Hebner comes in because he's the replacement ref here, and he only counts to 2. So Crazy Steve ends up getting caught by Robbie into the Adonis Crab. Abyss with the Goozle, try to break that up. Chokeslam escape, knocks Robbie E off the ring apron. This leads to Jesse eating the Black Hole Slam. And he exclamation points the match by power bombing Crazy Steve on top of Jesse, and that leads to the pinfall. Convoluted finish here. I like the Decay as a team. Like I said, been a fan of Crazy Steve since the O Show. So I'm happy to see Abyss is still collecting a paycheck somewhere. It's weird seeing him without face paint or a mask. And obviously the face paint was completely gone by the time the match was over. I like the Bromans as a team. I like Robbie E a lot more than Jesse, but I think they're a decent tag team. I don't like the Raquel thing, but I guess they're kind of somewhat trying to make them into like a more jacked up version of the Body Donnas. That's the only thing I could think of at this point. Raquel is basically like Tammy Sitch from like the 90s at this point. So it happened. I mean, there was a lot of interesting stuff in this match. Decay retains. I have a feeling they're probably going to be facing off against James Storm and Braxton Sutter before too long. They'll probably set that up on Tuesday, like a number one contenders match. They'll probably win it, and then we'll see. Get the Bromans another title shot, but of course they fail again. And Raquel's going to end up turning on them down the line, and she'll probably bring in a new tag team to take care of the Bromans once and for all. So, who knows? Thoughts on the match, Ashley?
Right team won.
In this case,
yeah. That's about it.
I mean, the Bromans obviously have a story to build up, so this feud's going to somewhat continue, I guess. But maybe this is a one-off. I guess we'll have to find out sooner rather than later. So Drew Galloway's in the back with Jeremy Borash. The one thing I can take from this is the final thing he said. He said, I tapped out Kurt Angle, and I sure as hell can beat Bobby Lashley. Fair point.
Therefore, Drew Galloway beat the world.
Yes.
Or something.
Close enough. Main event time, TNA World Heavyweight Championship on the line. Drew Galloway defending against the Destroyer Bobby Lashley. The thing to note about Galloway's entrance, he comes out and he is wearing a kilt. I don't recall him doing this in TNA before.
Oh, he's proud of losing the title.
Lashley's got his headband on. I believe the chat room I saw said he looks like a jacked up Vince Carter. I don't play basketball or know anything about it, but I'll take your word for it. Galloway hits the Claymore at the bell. And, of course, this is tap out or knockout only, so there's no pinfall. And he ducks a kick, a roll up into a leg bar, so immediately go to a submission. Clotheslines Galloway over the top. Lashley with the torture rack. Galloway escapes, locks on the Iron Maiden. And this allows for an escape. He goes shoulder first into the ring post. Galloway locks the Iron Maiden back in again. And this time Lashley gets the foot to the rope. He hits an over-the-shoulder hot shot and murder, death, kill. But
why didn't he just do the Claymore over and over again and then win by knockout?
He could have. I can't explain
I'm guessing we mean by knockout last man standing.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I don't know.
Or pass out, I guess, in this case, but we'll get to that. Murder, death, kill, but no. Lashley hits the overhead belly to belly, and Galloway tries to roll it into a Jujigatami, but he can't really lock the arm properly, and he ends up hitting a deadlift, but Lashley gets kicked straight in the face. And basically so much that the top of his boot caught the eye and busted his eye open. So that worked. Lashley picked him up and hit him with a spine buster and a hanging vertical suplex, put Galloway on the buckle. He climbs up, a wild punch, and a superplex is blocked. And Galloway with a scary-looking gourd buster. It looked like he almost could have dropped Lashley on his head. Hits the top rope clothesline and the Claymore again, but he charges in. Lashley gets the elbow up and another overhead release belly to belly and another murder death kill. When they get back to their feet, Lashley with the side choke, the judo choke there, and it is broken up. Lashley gets big booted over the top by Galloway. Lashley presses Galloway on the ring apron and drops him chest first on there. Drew whips Lashley into the ring steps. And Galloway hits the air raid crash, or called by Josh Matthews, the Celtic Cross, on the ring steps. Looked vicious as all get out. So Drew locks on Scottish Sharpshooter, and the Pope is talking about his love of Bret the Hitman Hart. This is broken up by the referee. Don't really know why. Probably because it was on the steps. He hits the Claymore on the floor, looking even more like the sick kick than usual. And he sets up the table outside to put Lashley on it. Drew goes to the tope con hilo. Lashley moves out of the way. He crashes through the table. And Drew ends up getting the count broken by Lashley. Lashley breaks the count again. Drew's bleeding from the forehead because for some reason he decided he wanted to bleed off of that when he didn't get his head touched. That makes sense. He goes up top, he dives off, gets caught in a crippler crossface, and he transitions into a tombstone, and he goes for the Claymore. He gets decked, literally decked. A huge punch, like a knockout blow in a boxing match. Like Lashley just laid into him, locks on the Anaconda device, and Lashley is putting on the pressure. Galloway kind of fades, and the arm drops, and they call it. Bobby Lashley is the new TNA World Heavyweight Champion. This match, I enjoyed it. Solid back and forth match. I don't really have many complaints about this. I will say that I find it strange Lashley went over here. I do. Unless there's something we don't know about Drew Galloway. I guess we'll find out. I'm going to guess that they would want to sign him to a longer contract, given the fact that he's one of the faces of the company.
Mm-hmm.
Are there 4 Galloway, Lashley, and the Hardys? Is that the 4 they're trying to sign to contracts?
Galloway. Yeah, I think it's Galloway, Lashley, and the Hardys at the minute.
Because I think EC3's already signed. He's the only, him and Bennett are the only, those 4 and Mike Bennett and EC3 are the names that they need to keep for sure.
The thing is, of course, as it stands, the deals that Bennett and EC3 are on still allow them to do appearances at other shows.
Yes, obviously.
Whereas what they're trying to do with everybody else is let them only be on TNA shows.
Right.
Of course, the complication is the Hardys have their own promotion.
This is true.
So how can they not be involved somehow with their own promotion? And of course, Galloway, he's got his stuff in Evolve at the minute.
Right.
Very good. And then, of course, he's got his ICW stuff.
Right.
And that would all have to go. And, his heel run there has been really good. His quest to get the title back has been a big thing. But the honest fact of the matter is you won't be seeing any of them on what culture shows or anything.
Right.
Because Impact probably wouldn't allow it.
Did you get to see any of this match at all?
This one, no.
Okay.
But from what you've said and from what I've heard from other people, it was a pretty good match. I don't know what the meaning is of the title switch.
Yeah, I don't either.
It'll be intriguing to see what the payoff is. Unless, of course, we Destination X whole thing of Eddie Edwards can go for the world title.
I have a feeling that could possibly come into play.
Somewhere, yeah. Logically, Lashley versus EC3 would be a good booking as well, though.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But part of me also wonders whether they're doing that so Lashley is now got double focus. He can't just worry about MMA. He's now got to worry about wrestling.
This is true.
I'm wondering whether they've given him the title because of the whole UFC 200 shindig shenanigans and other words beginning with the sound of shit. Aren't shit.
See, I wonder at this point because I can't say I hated this show. I don't have hatred for this show at all.
No. It was a solid show.
Yeah, it was.
My only issue is it worth $50?
God.
Is it worth $40? No matter, well, you know, because I'm not. I've seen like Canadian prices of $40, which I don't know whether that is direct conversion,
right,
in terms of what it'd be for US cable providers and all that. But you know, let's say that is the standard definition. Like for I wouldn't say the content you got tonight was worth $40.
I agree with that.
It might be worth a 10, a 15, or a 20 sort of deal. But I think charging higher rates for something like this, you know, it's not entirely the right thing, I think.
Yeah.
You know, as I previously mentioned, you know, that you can get the WWE Network for 5 months. You could get you could get things like Shikaratopia and ICW on demand for 6 months for the same amount of money as $50, give or take a couple of dollars. You know, there's a lot of places where you could get longer term value for your money rather than a one-off purchase.
New Japan World.
Mm-hmm.
Heck, even the WWE Network.
Well, yeah, I mentioned that already.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is, I don't think it was worth up front as a $50 sum.
I mean, it was a solid edition of Impact.
Then that's the other problem, because of the way. That's the reason why I can't say it's a good show. I have to say it's solid.
Exactly.
Because they have too many promos on their live shows.
That was a problem.
Their live pay-per-views. Every match has to have JB in the back talking to somebody in either the next match or an upcoming match. And sometimes I feel it's just stuck in there just to fill time. Because, I had to step away for a bit, but then I heard Dixie saying, and now time to announce the TNA Hall of Fame inductee. And I'm like, what? Literally, they done this with no fanfare? And then I hear Sting's music and I'm going, wait, they're putting him in again? It's like Joker Sting or something. And then, because I came back, I noticed the graphic said that's what happened in 2012. And we're announcing the next one on Tuesday. Might have been just easier to put out a press release.
I agree with that.
Than, ironically, a few hours before the pay-per-view even started, there was a press release on TNA's website saying Maria can't compete. So the whole thing with showing the x-rays and whatever didn't have to be done, because in theory, everybody should be looking at your website, right, TNA? Sorry, Impact Wrestling / TNA Wrestling. Because, TNA is owned by the Harris brothers now. Allegedly.
Right.
Anywho.
It was okay.
The time is perfect. Then I might actually be able to see what the hell's going on with this Japanese E3 thing.
So yeah, that's TNA Slammiversary.
Again, if it's just Japanese games, I'll feel cheated. just like Snoop Dogg.
That's TNA Slammiversary. We weren't aware you were going to get an old school version of the podcast tonight, but that's just what happens. Obviously, everyone has a lot of things to do that they weren't able to join us tonight. Aaron was there live, so obviously he probably couldn't have got back in time anyway.
I guess we'll get some of his perspective tomorrow, give or take.
Perhaps, or might wait till Wednesday so we can just talk about Raw, I guess. We'll see.
And then spoil everything.
Yeah.
For Aaron.
Tomorrow is the return of our WWE Raw Popcast. It's going to be at 11:30 p.m. tomorrow night. Wednesday Wrestling Podcast returns to its regular day and time, 9:30 p.m. on Wednesday night. And Thursday, Sip and Snack, Random Flavors. Friday, AJ's Movie Reviews. We'll be tackling the new releases of Finding Dory and Central Intelligence, and probably some limited releases as well. Sip and Snack Original goes on Saturday, Versus on Sunday. Your cryptic comment is not needed because it is the mega verses, the anniversary verses that we do every single year, and it's something that you're going to have some fun looking into. And Sunday night is Money in the Bank.
Shit. I've worked it out. It's New Year's Eve versus Mother's Day.
Oh no, I don't think we could do anything like that.
Which is the worst? That's a toughie.
Oh God. Money in the Bank is next Sunday. We'll do that podcast, and of course, that will lead to Raw on Monday night, and the archive of the podcast for Money in the Bank is going to be up. The week after is Ring of Honor, the first Ring of Honor pay-per-view we're covering here on the Popcast Network.
That is 24th of Friday the 24th, I believe.
That is Friday the 24th, exactly, and that
at midnight.
Yes,
close to midnight as we can.
Indeed.
Because RH pay-per-views on Friday start at 9.
Yes. It's like ECW.
With wait, nothing else is shown on Friday nights.
Exactly. So that's what we've got. Real quick, shout out to Travis for joining us for a few minutes. Follow him on Twitter at Travis Coaster. Check out the Coaster Casters podcast on Friday and the People Mover podcast on, I guess, Sunday now is when it's been changed to, unless it's a pay-per-view Sunday, or it'll be on there regardless if he's able to be a part of it or not. I know he's a busy man right now too, getting ready for his trip to Orlando in a couple of weeks. Thankfully, mine is 94 days away and counting. So yeah. So shout out to him, shout out to Cleveland and Aaron for being a part of the panel, even though they weren't available tonight. Same with Will. All of them will be returning tomorrow for Raw. And Ashley.
Check out podcast archives of the whole indie show and SNES Sticks and Flicks over at snesradionetwork.com. Gaming with Ash will be coming probably Wednesday as I recover from the mediocrity of EA and the actually impressive announcements practically every few minutes. Although there is some worries, but I'll go into more details on the video with that. And who knows what bloody Microsoft and the PC and Ubisoft and Sony and possibly now I've even heard Square Enix are going to do. My life is going to be hell. Yeah. Oh, and Twitter, Ash is my name UK, where I've already talked about Snoop.
Follow me on Twitter at Cerrone Disney. Follow the Popcast Network on Twitter at Popcast Network. Check out our Zazzle store. It's available for merchandise at zazzle.com/Popcast Network. And our Facebook.
Father's Day code.
Father's Day code is over now.
What?
Yeah.
Father's Day's next week.
I think it is. I don't know if it was still a code or not. Let's see. New code. New code, 15% off until Tuesday. Zaz Summer Wed. So Zaz Summer Wed for your Zazzle discount on 50% off any sort of merch you want to pick up. You want to pick up any Popcast Network merchandise.
Summer wedding.
Yeah.
What?
Exactly.
Who comes up with these shit?
I don't know. Facebook fan page, Popcast Network, and once again, I want to thank everyone for watching. Got a brand new video that just got released last night talking about Chance as the Icon, ticket prices, the annual pass holder event nights, character dining, all the Halloween Horror Nights 26 stuff you could ever want. Plus, we did a podcast, 2 of them, on Saturday night. Ashley and I talked about indie wrestling at 6 o'clock, and we had technical glitches, so we couldn't start till 6:37, yes, in a row. And we got done literally 5 minutes before we went live for the Halloween Horror Nights 26 podcast. Both of those are available right here on the network and probably where you can see them right now if you look around the channel.
Respect, it wasn't just indie stuff.
It was a little bit of everything, really. Like everything we do.
Lucha Underground, it was Ring of Honor, it was TNA.
Everything we do on Wednesday.
Stuff.
Everything we do on Wednesday.
Also SmackDown stuff and news and all that.
It was everything we do on Wednesday, but it was just me and you.
Obviously not NXT because
yeah, couldn't talk NXT.
They ruined that one. They did like special, the bastards. Boo.
So Impact, NXT, Lucha Underground, Ring of Honor, and the Indies, along with all the pro wrestling news under the sun, is going to be covered on Wednesday. Plus UFC returns. Yes.
Because, something will probably happen.
We'll see.
Somebody will pull out of a fight and we'll go, well, all that money. Whee!
So I think that's the end tonight. And I want to thank everyone for watching and listening. And as always, in a world where there are a billion wrestling podcasts, we're very pleased that once more tonight you have chosen a podcast. I want to thank everyone watching. Thanks everyone for listening. Keep Orlando strong. And until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all we got to say about that.
I was going to play Battlefield 1, but then I got high. Ooh.